This video is sponsored. This live stream is sponsored by okjersey.com. Scan the QR code or go to okjersey.com. High quality football shirts, current, last season, the season before, vintage ones, like the ones I'm wearing. It's very simple as well. So cheap in comparison with the ones from the official stores as well. Top quality. Let me show you how actually to get one. It's that easy. You go to the website. There's all the teams. Premier Leagues, La Liga, everything is Liverpool, Manchester City, all the big teams, and even the smaller teams. If you're Newcastle, Ipswich, it doesn't matter. Current, previous, also the player's version, which is a high quality one as well. Click on it. You can pick your size and you add to cart, and boom, you got it right there. So don't forget one thing. Use the code JUDGE below to actually get an 8% discount. The code is JUDGE. Head to OK Jersey. Scan the QR code to actually get your discount and get your football shirt now. And now, let's go back to our live stream. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judgment. Don't forget actually to scan the QR code. Don't forget actually to go to okjersey.com, the sponsor of this video. Someone said fake poor quality. I actually think they're very high quality, some of them, actually, to be honest with you. Very, very high quality, some of them. You can buy the cheaper ones from here, as well in America, some of them. They ship everywhere in the world as well. But big up everybody that is here. Hit that like button. A couple of things I wanted to speak about. It's a perfect panel, actually, to speak about that as well. Logical, rational. We can have a football discussion. The number yesterday, this is what we're going to talk about yesterday. Yesterday, actually, on the Football Terrace, someone asked, why do people back Arsenal? And people think that Arsenal are going to fall off. We got Big Steve clowning Arsenal and saying that nobody fears Arsenal. They're not. They always fall off. They haven't won anything. We cannot respect them until they win something.
I don't think he said anything wrong. I don't care if he fears Arsenal or not. Until
that's not you.
Until we win, nobody's going to fear anything.
Yeah.
That's not true, actually. If you're the best team and you're,
I think that's fair.
So we're PSG last season. Everyone was scared of them, even though they never won the Champions League because
no one was scared of them until they won the Champions League.
No, not true, actually. No. Okay, let me tell you what I mean by this. I want to just present
Arsenal
what we're going to talk about. I want to present what we're going to talk about, and then we'll talk. If I'm, for example, if I'm watching someone that is well structured, I think maybe if people think they are the best team now, you should actually fear that they might win the league. There's a difference because when you watch another team, you get my point, right? Like, I can't just sit here and say, I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried that they won't win the league. You know what I mean? Okay, you're watching them. They're structured. They are the top of the league. They have strong defense. You might say, I won't say that they will win it until they win it, but you have to be a little bit scared that they might win it, right? That's the whole point of being scared. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of you are worrying about a team that is in contention with your team, right? Like if I'm watching that Liverpool team that reached the Champions League final the year after when they won the league, you watch that Liverpool team and they're like, yeah, Salah broke the record. They are dangerous the year after, even though they haven't won it in 30 years before that. Really.
This was the same thing last year with
before
Liverpool.
Before we go on. No, but Liverpool were third favorites. Nobody started the season and said Liverpool with a new manager, right? Haven't signed anyone. It's so different with Liverpool last season because there was no signs that Liverpool would win the league. You know what I mean? The difference is there was no, like you're not going to tell me last season that in the beginning of the season, a new manager, no signings, same players. Yes, they are favorites. But if you see it now, Arsenal had arguably their best ever window. They have the most depth in the league, right? Liverpool look a little bit shaky. Man City, they are riddled with injuries. And you're not going to tell me that you're going to sit here and say, yeah, I'm a little bit worried that Arsenal, this might be Arsenal's years. It's not only me. We got the Gary Linekers, we got Adbon Lahore, we got other people as well saying that, yeah, I actually think that this might be Arsenal's year. But we'll talk about that. Liverpool as well. We had a big discussion yesterday about dropping Isak and Wirtz. Should Isak be dropped for Ekitike? Is Ekitike better fit? Can Arne Slot drop Isak, actually? We had this discussion yesterday. And also, Charlie, someone asked me a question, yes, a couple of days ago, and we discussed it, but unfortunately it was after the show. When will Chelsea win the league? When do we think Chelsea? Do we ever think that the ownership and this Chelsea team will gel to the point that they actually will win the Premier League? And will the board change their approach? And also, is Maresca a title-winning material? Should they go and better get a Xavi? Should they go and better a manager that is established? Can this team win under a different manager? That is the reality. But listen, you guys wanted to start with Arsenal? We can start with Arsenal, whatever. But listen, before we go on, the Ram stand is in the description. Guys, go and support Ram. We know that Charlie, Blue Brothers, sorry, Igal. You guys do shows regularly. You guys are having your own channel. A lot of people know Igal. But that Ram now, guys, is starting to do his own shows on his channel. His channel in the description. We're trying to get him to 1K so he get monetized. So please hit to Ram. He's doing good work there with Drifty and other people as well. So go and try to support Ram. His channel is in the description. It's called the Ram Stand. So go and support him. He's been on shows again now.
Are you doing match reactions?
Yeah, man. It'll be everything. Unfortunately, international break has been so dead. It's been so difficult to create content during this week, man. But now that Premier League is back, I'm going to be doing a lot more consistent content. Don't worry, man. So,
yeah, so go guys and support that. Egal as well, of course, is doing great work on his show. Of course, with Vibes from the Six and all the guys. And Charlie, you do regular content as well. He does like very good shows with Dan as well. So very, very good rational talk. Where do we start? We want to start with Liverpool. You want to start with
We'll start with Arsenal because I completely forgot Mo was doing an intro and then the guy started talking about Arsenal. I completely forgot. But we'll start off with Arsenal. I'll let Egal take the floor because it's his team, man. So, yeah.
Now, you know what? I don't really necessarily care what other people say at this moment in time because I feel like they are coping with the fact that we are a better team than their team. That's the reality. I see Liverpool fans kind of saying, no, there's no way you have a better squad than us. Just 2 weeks ago, I had Jerry on your channel, Mo, saying that Liverpool still have a better squad than Arsenal. Now, 2 weeks later, you're seeing that squad being tested for Liverpool and you're seeing that squad being tested for Arsenal, and Arsenal seem to be able to cope with it a little bit better. Then I go over to what Man City fans like Steve, they chased us down to win the league twice. They beat us to the league twice. So they're obviously not going to say they fear Arsenal. Even when we beat them 5-1, he walked out of that stadium and he's like, we lost, it is what it is, and move on. But to me, his point where until Arsenal win, nobody's going to fear them, I kind of get that. If you say they fear Arsenal winning, yeah, I do see Tottenham and Chelsea fans thinking, you know what, Arsenal, it might be their year. Shit, we're going to have to go into hiding for a week before the World Cup. I do hear those takes. But honest truth, unless we have a game on Sunday or Saturday, I don't really see fans talking about fearing Arsenal. And unless we actually go on to win the league, everything we do this season, everyone's going to just shit on it. So personally for me, I don't really take too much account on what Steve is saying necessarily, because I do think there is an element of truth behind it. But the fear for Arsenal.
But for
potentially
me,
winning,
if I'm
there's two
looking
things, though, Mo. You're talking about fear in the sense of they fear Arsenal on a match-to-match, week-to-week basis. I don't think
he means he feels Arsenal in a title race. But let me tell you, Liverpool have never won the league in a title race.
He's biased.
But Liverpool have never won the league in a title race. They haven't.
He said he fears Liverpool because they've won, though.
Yeah, but okay, if there is a title race, yes, Arsenal didn't win it. But if there is a title race, Liverpool have. I'm saying you fear Arsenal more than Liverpool. But if you're looking at this Liverpool team, this group of players only won it when they ran away with it. The 2 times they won it, they ran away with it. When they were in a title race, they fell off. I remember the 2 years ago when they finished 3rd. Before that, they didn't win it twice against Man City. And they haven't won it. I'm not saying you fear Arsenal more, but I'm saying also if I'm using the same logic, that is the logic, right?
There's 2 things, though. I do think there is a level of like fear that Arsenal might win it, but they're not going to show it publicly. But what he's specifically speaking about is he's confident Man City will beat Arsenal if it's a title race, where he's not confident they'll beat Liverpool because they've lost them in the past. It's basing your opinion on what's happened in the past and not what could potentially happen.
Let me ask the people. Let me ask Rahman, and if this season you're watching now, who do you think is ahead of the other? If you're looking at this Arsenal squad or you're looking at Manchester City, who would you put your money on to win the league? If now, game week 7, I don't read the future. I don't know what is going to happen. Who would you say is closer to win the league today for you?
Just those 2 teams, yeah?
Yeah, we'll talk about Liverpool, but he's a Man City fan. He wasn't talking about Liverpool. He was saying that as a Man City fan, we beat them. I don't fear them. Who would you pick?
I'm going to keep it. No, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, sorry, you'd say right now, based on what we've seen, that Arsenal are in a better position to win the league than Man City are. That doesn't mean that Man City can't win the league, but based on the first 7 games and the way that Arsenal are playing and the squad that they've got and the depth that they've got and how settled that team is, then it's very difficult to sit here and say off that Arsenal aren't in a better position to win the league. Obviously, it doesn't work out like that. It doesn't run like that, like for the duration of a season necessarily. But right now, Arsenal are the best team in the league. They're playing the best football, and they've got the best squad. So that it's not. I don't think that's a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah, but you know something? The whole fear thing. At the end of the day, the way that he was speaking, I kind of feel like he does know Arsenal are a threat, and he doesn't want to acknowledge it. So.
Yeah, I kind of hear that. I'm going to keep 100% consistent at the start of the season. I said, regardless of what my club does, I still see Arsenal as a major threat in a title race. I think the quality of players that they've got, top to bottom, from the likes of Saka to Rice to Gabriel, they've got a really good spine. The only question I have is whether the manager can take you there if he's that guy. I still have my reservations about Mikel Arteta. But when I was talking about Liverpool and our chances, I've always mentioned and I've always kept it consistent, Arsenal will be our biggest threat. They've had a very, very good window, signed some key players that they needed to sign. And I think it's a lot of hatred. And if you compare it to Manchester City's team, look, if you want to compare performances like people want to do, I'll be real. I saw Brentford versus Man City. If Igor Thiago was able to control the ball properly and get a good shot on goal, it would have been 1-1. I'm going to be real. I haven't been that convinced with Man City to be like, this is the Man City that will win 15 games in a row or be unbeaten 15 games in a row. But look, I think people don't want to give credit to where credit is due. I think Gal spoke about his squad, and I still maintain, I think pound for pound, player for player, our attack and our midfield, we got the better depth, but their defensive depth is just far beyond ours. If you look at left back depth, right back depth, centre back depth, it bleeds quality, every ounce of it. But credit where credit's due. Arteta's got a good tune out of his players, even in arguably one of their toughest periods at the start of the season. But it is a long season. There's still a lot more that's going to happen in this title race. So I'm looking.
The thing about it, from my point of view, yes, Liverpool's attack look better than Arsenal on paper. But Arsenal, in the majority of their games, when you play, even in the Champions League, because their defense is so good, they're so comfortable. They can win 1-0, 2-1, 2-0. It doesn't have to be I'm outscoring the opposition. And the distance between Arsenal's offense and Liverpool offense currently is not day and night. Arsenal actually scored more goals. And you can say set pieces, not set pieces, it's part of the fucking game. Like, people just actually do this. It's part of the game. There are plenty of teams that are very good in set pieces and they win from set pieces. You can win 1-0 from set piece. Right? If I'm looking at it now, I think what gives Arsenal the edge is the capacity of staying always in the game with a chance to win the game. But Liverpool's defense, for example, and Man City's defense is open. They allow chances. That is the difference. And that is why I think currently, if you're asking me, I think it's maybe between Liverpool and Arsenal 50-50. Yes, Man City always have a chance because of Pep Guardiola. And if he's in January 2 to 7 points or 5 points behind, he can always go on a run. But the fact that people don't give Arsenal credit for the structure team, I think they're one of the most well-drilled teams in the world currently.
It's simply down to one thing.
Don't tell me Arteta. Don't tell me Arteta. Don't tell me. It's not about Arteta.
It's because we haven't won it the previous years when people thought we had just as good as a chance. Now that we've actually signed quality players and we've fixed our team to a level where it's super competitive, where you could arguably say it's the best team in the league.
Actually, not true.
There's people who are still in denial. At this point, there is a level of derangement syndrome. People just don't want to acknowledge Arsenal.
But that's not true, guys. Before we do that, that's not true. Even all the seasons before, people said if Saliba get injured, Arsenal finished. Last season, if Gabriel got injured, people said, Kivior, you're finished. You're done. You're finished.
And the same thing applies to
Saka, you're finished. To the Odegaard, you're done. You're making
the thing is now, though, there's like this season for Arsenal, there are no excuses because the depth is there, the players are there.
Story,
but you notice the difference this with what Arsenal right now is, right? No one's talking about, they haven't got good enough players, they haven't got good enough depth. All the doubts about Arsenal are about the manager. It's not about the players or the quality of the players or the squad that they've got. It's about Arteta.
Great. Can I present an argument so you can respond to this?
Yeah,
How about the manager? Okay. Isn't that a sign that a manager that went toe-to-toe with Pep Guardiola to the last game and it was down to very small margins, not only for Arsenal, because people say Aston Villa, West Ham, also City winning against Spurs, also these small margins for City. I'm going to give you an example. Diaz, 1-on-1 from halfway line against Manchester City when Mohamed Salah put it in. Diaz puts that in, Arsenal might have won the league, or even Liverpool at that time, right? So what I mean by this, there are signs. If Arsenal completely fell off, Charlie, in that season, and in the last 2, 3, 4 games, City already are on the beach winning the league, I would say yes. But if it goes to the wire, to the last game, and City, remember, City, that last game, people said they might drop points and Arsenal might win it.
They were down.
That is a sign, Charlie, that Arsenal team, right, can get it all the way to the last game, and it's down to the wire.
But no one's denying that they can't take it to the last game or anything like that, Mo. The fact is there's sufficient evidence that they can't get over the line. Like, this is not sort of like a one-off thing. There's like 2 or 3 seasons.
I think it's a personal issue, Charlie. It's been a personal issue. And now that we've resolved that personal issue, I believe Arsenal can get over the line. And the reason why I think we can is because we've shown sustained success over a calendar year. We've shown that we can compete on in the Champions League and in the league at the same time. The issue we've had is when we try competing in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and the Champions League with the league title race, that's where we fall short. Somewhere down the line, we put out a weak team in one of the competitions, we get knocked out, we lose some form, and then it spirals into consistent defeats. Right now, we have a team where we could put out a second 11 that I think is competitive enough to go and beat Brighton in the League Cup, go and win a FA Cup game where we don't necessarily have to stress ourselves in the Champions League, and we can rest one of Saliba or Gabriel, which we haven't had that luxury in the past. We had to play Rob Holding, Eddie Nketiah, Emil Smith-Rowe, who was barely fit at times. We constantly had players who were just not up to the standard to get you over a line for a league title. And I think it was quite impressive that we're even in a title race in the 2022-2023 season. If it wasn't for Jesus getting injured and Man City going on a crazy run once again second half of the season, we probably maybe would have had 2 league titles by now. But
that still doesn't excuse last season, though.
Last season is not injuries. Last season is a culmination of everything: injuries, decisions, and just the team losing focus. Liverpool last season, everything went their way. As much as we don't like to acknowledge, as much as we don't want to acknowledge things aligning for a team, Liverpool last year with Man City and Arsenal both having poor seasons, they benefited massively, and hats off to them. They played amazing. But you also have to acknowledge that both Arsenal and City both had difficult seasons. We had the most injuries in the league. City had the most important players all out injured.
Who's I've got a question, right? Who's there more pressure on to win the league this season? Arsenal or Slot, given the fact that they've won the league now, they've had that record-breaking transfer window, or is there more pressure on Arsenal, given they've had a very good window, spent a lot of money?
Arteta has the most pressure in Europe.
Slot. If you go into a transfer window signing Florian, if you go into a transfer window signing Florian Wirtz, one of the most exciting and one of the most sought after number 10s in the world, and you sign Alexander Isak, who's been arguably the best, I say arguably, been one of the best strikers in the world, you got so much pressure on your head.
So we saying is it a bigger failure then if Liverpool don't win the league or Arsenal don't win the league?
No. Let me answer this.
That's a different kind of
Arne
thing.
Slot is
it's
not
a very good question, actually.
Arteta. That is false. And you know how that I know that's true? When Arsenal lost the game to Liverpool and drew the game to Man City, the conversations were already about him potentially getting sacked. Where Liverpool lose 3 games in a row, and the conversations are about them being in a transition year. You can clearly tell by how the two teams which one is under direct pressure and which one is given excuses. Liverpool won the league last year. No matter what anybody says, Liverpool winning the league last year, if they don't win the league this year, the manager is going to get a pass. They're going to give him a new contract. Forget about pass. They're going to give him a new deal. They're going to tell him, you know what, we need to make sure he's signed up because I don't know how many more years are left in his current deal. As for Arteta,
it expires at the end of the season.
There's no excuses. We've spent so much money. We've been in title races over the last two to 3 years, and we haven't gone over the line. If we don't get over the line this year, the most pressure is on Arsenal, and I would take it even further. Mikel Arteta is under the most pressure across all of Europe. He is the individual who has the most pressure on him across Europe. There's no individual who has more pressure than him than Arteta.
I do think it's a fair point what Agal says, right? Because when Chelsea have spent money and not succeeded, we've been absolutely battered, right, and hammered from pillar to post.
2007
Liverpool go and win the Premier League, right? Have a record-breaking transfer window, sign some unbelievable football players, and I'm seeing in the media discussions about how they're in a transition season. How on earth can you be Premier League champions, break the British transfer record twice, have the window that you've had, and then there's a narrative starting to form that, oh, this is a transition season. Oh, it might be all right if they don't win the league or they don't do this or don't do that. It's utter nonsense. It's disgraceful.
If you look at the narrative,
it's a complete joke.
If you look at the narrative that's been being spun again, which I half deal with, which is the whole Arne Slot won with Klopp's team, which I kind of agree with it because I said the same. That. No, people are saying it now, Ago. People in the narrative now is that Arne Slot won with Klopp's team. Even people last season were saying this was Klopp's team. Like if you look at it, the fact that we didn't make any signings, no one major left the squad, you could argue it was Klopp's team, which I kind of subscribe to, which is fair because I said the same thing about Benitez when he won the 05 Champions League final. It was the same thing with Houlier's team, but the difference is people expected the transition to be last season. Because I heard many people saying Liverpool are going to drop off. Liverpool aren't going to be the same without Arne Slot last season. But then, hey-ho, we ended up winning the league. Surprised everybody, even surprising a lot of Liverpool fans as well. The reason why people are saying it is transition this time is because there's a mass exodus of players out of the squad. Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez, Harvey Elliott, 3 players that Jurgen Klopp loved to bits, has left the squad. And Arne Slot has signed 6 potential starters to be in the team, which is more than half the squad, which will technically, if you go by that logic, it is a transition season. However, that still doesn't change the fact we signed Isak, we signed Wirtz, we signed Kerkez, we signed Frimpong, we signed all these players. We still should be expected to win the league. Like this is a big season. We broke the transfer record twice. We've signed 2 of the most sought after players in the world. that still doesn't negate the fact, Arne Slot, you got to make it work. I'm sorry, you wanted the window to be back. You've been heavily backed. The players that you wanted to leave, i.e. Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, have left. This is your squad. Make do with it. If you don't win the league, questions will be asked at the end of the season. I've said that at the start of the season, and I will continue to say it until the end of the season.
Okay, but the main point was who's under more pressure. I think we can all acknowledge that Arteta winning the league relieves more pressure than Slot necessarily winning another league title.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a different question though, because again, you asked a very great question, which is the biggest failure. Now there's a little bit of context behind that, because you have to look at what Arne Slot has done. He's joined last season, already won a league title. This will be Arteta's, sixth full season for Arsenal. There's a lot of context behind that. He rebuilt the squad. He was expected to win the league title regardless in the last 3 seasons. There's obviously going to be a bigger failure with Arteta, because this is the squad that you built front to back. This is your vision. And if you haven't seen any success from it, then it's a blight on your name rather than the actual club's name. So that's where the nuance comes in, because the timing of it, the overall amount of years that Arteta's been with Arsenal is going to be a bigger failure for Arsenal.
Mo, what do you think is the bigger failure?
The most pressure is on Arteta, 100%, no doubt. I think if Arne Slot doesn't win the league, I think it's a bigger failure than Arsenal not winning the league because of the signings that they made. That has nothing to do with last season. I'm only analyzing this season, guys. Right? If you are a Premier League winning team and you go and sign all these players, as a club, Liverpool, forget Arne Slot. Arne Slot himself might not have the same pressure as Arteta. But as a football club, right, that won the league twice in the last 30 years, this is your chance by signing all these players to go and actually retain the title. As a football club, Arsenal as a football club, they must win the league. By the way, Arsenal Football Club, they must win the league this season, next year, doesn't matter. It was last year. But this season for Liverpool, if you look at them, you cannot deny that this is the first time probably in our lifetime that we see Liverpool do this in the transfer market. That striker, the fullbacks, the attacking mid, while keeping Van Dijk, while...
There was one time, 2018.
Oh, of Alisson and Van Dijk.
Alisson, Fabinho, Van Dijk.
No, Van Dijk was January.
That's not the
Alisson
same. You
and
broke
Fabinho.
3
It's not the
records.
same. Guys,
It's not the same.
it's not the same.
Oh, I don't know.
Guys, you literally went and got the best attacking mid in Germany, and
People
arguably,
forget we broke the record for a goalkeeper.
bro, I'm gonna tell you one thing, Ram.
You broke
got
the
the
Liverpool
best.
transfer record 3 times this season.
You got
I'm not
ridiculous.
negating it. But 2018, we spent big in that sense.
It's not the same.
Yeah, but hold on. You don't understand. You didn't have a Premier League winning team.
We
This is
we
a
had
Premier League winning
we had a title challenging winning team. We had the title challenging.
This is a Premier League winning team. Like this, Salah had 47 GA. Van Dijk is labeled the best defender in the world. You know what I mean? Konate was amazing last season. You know, McAllister was labeled.
Salah had 60-something GA the season before. And this is Van Dijk this is the Van Dijk we signed in January.
I don't think people get what I'm saying. Actually.
No,
I'm gonna put it in a just a summary. If Arteta doesn't win the league, there is a big fear of him getting sacked and then trying something else. If Arne Slot doesn't win the league, he might not get sacked, but the pressure will be on the club because you signed all these players.
No. I think this directly goes to the question, because I think the fan base have now come to collectiveness where it's like, this is the only time we can't actually blame the club. This is the only time we can actually say the club did its job.
No, I'm not talking about the sporting directors. I'm talking about the club as an institute. When people talk about Liverpool, it's the players, the manager, the club. I'm not talking about... At Arsenal, I'm telling you, no one will pinpoint to a player and say, yeah, this season it's on you, it's on you. They will point to one guy. Nobody will talk about the Kroenkes. Nobody will talk about the club.
With Liverpool,
they will talk about... No, they won't talk about Arne Slot as much. They will talk about why Salah fell down. I'm going to tell you from now, people are saying why Salah is falling off, why Van Dijk this, why
Yeah,
Konate
but there was
that.
always going to be a fall off, Mo. You're never gonna replicate a season like that.
No,
After it's just not. There's going to be a natural drop
I'm
off.
telling you, Charlie, if Salah actually gets only 50% of last seasons, they will win the league. 50%. 60%.
That was the idea.
I doubt it. You know why, guys?
There's always going to be a major drop off. Like
The main reason why I doubt
Major drop off is crazy because his least GA in his career at Liverpool was 29. That's his least GA.
The main reason why I doubt Liverpool this season is not only because of their conceding of goals, it's their build-up play. The lack of build-up play and creativity in the team is visible. Especially go to the game where they dominated against Burnley. It wasn't as smooth, it wasn't as crisp, but you know what? You can still see them doing something against Burnley, against Everton. But against teams that can actually hurt them, they struggle to build up play. They struggle to find pockets to play against. And then when the team wins the ball back, they're quick down the channels and they're right at their defense right away. And they're just so open. Salah's not tracking back. Their fullbacks are not doing well defensively. And when it comes to Trent is such a big miss for them because the creativity he had, you could just give him the ball. One ball to Mo Salah and you're in. One ball to Darwin, you're in. One ball to Diaz, whoever.
But Salah never trapped back though. Salah's never trapped back. He hasn't trapped back for about 6 years.
I know, but Szoboszlai used to cover for him.
That's a
Szoboszlai used to cover for him.
You're forced to track back no matter what. No matter what, even if you're Salah, if you're Mane, unless your name was, he said this, unless your name is Lionel Messi, you're going to have to track back. I'm sorry. That's the expectation for him. Only last season.
Can I tell you what I keep saying?
No. But I'm saying only time last season, only time Mo Salah didn't track back was last season when Klopp wasn't there.
I don't think the problem is tracking back. If you look at that, it's not only that. Like if you look at when people actually say that McAllister was this, Szoboszlai was that last season, Gakpo, Diaz, whatever. Salah is head and shoulders above everyone in every single stat last season. You know, the second one is Trent. He's not here. So who else? So actually, if you look at this team, now that's why they bought Isak. That's why they bought Wirtz. That's why they bought Frimpong as right back, right? But none of these guys currently are doing their job. And the only guy that is doing a little bit of his job is Ekitike. Even Szoboszlai is being used a right back, a defensive mid, an attacking mid. He's like, why is your rule?
Why was he so good at right back? Because they need another midfield.
But he was good in one game.
He was good at people forget.
He got ripped apart.
He was shredded there, yeah.
He was poor against Burnley as well at right back. People forget. At Burnley, he wasn't doing anything. But then until he was moved to the midfield, until he was moved to an 8, that's when you start to see more of the ball. That's why he started to create a little bit of chances. This right back thing is actually a fallacy that his best position is right back. No,
I think people expected a lot more from the likes of Isak, Wirtz to actually carry the attack with Mohamed Salah.
Okay. But you know the problem is
Kirkes. People thought that Kirkes is gonna be amazing, and Kirkes is he's not. Like he's good. He's a good player. I'm not gonna say he's a bad player. He's a good player.
It's a massive step up from Bournemouth to Liverpool, and people don't realise that. People just think it's going to be a seamless transition, and he's going to go in and it's going to be absolutely fine. Like it is going to take time. I think the problem Liverpool have got right is that obviously one, they've essentially changed half the outfield team from last season, which is going to cause a certain level of disruption. Secondly, and this will improve over time, I'm sure. The profile of fullbacks they've signed in Kirkes and Frimpong, to me, don't look like they're a slot style don't look like they're a slot style of fullback. I'm sure they can adapt to that, and that will change over time. But then by signing your Isak and your Florian Wirtz, it completely changes the balance of the team. Liverpool's best midfield is probably Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister. But Wirtz has to play, so then one of them has to drop out, and the balance changes.
And then comes the question, because we moved on from Arsenal. Now comes the question, Charlie, do you think they should be dropped? Do you think?
whether he should
can
be
drop.
dropped or not, but he was dropped against Chelsea. He started on the bench and he come on at half time. Like Slot has dropped Wirtz before, but I think you're at a point now where when you spend that much money on a player, whether they have to play or not, you know, is neither here nor there. They will play because you have to sign those players, because even if you don't want to play them right, the noise you're going to get from the outside if you're week in, week out benching a record signing, it's not worth the hassle.
I said that yesterday. I got clowned. I got clowned on the football terrace yesterday by saying this.
It's true though.
Because I said if especially for Isak, if Isak is dropped, there will be noise, not only from the outside but also from the inside, because you don't spend that much money on breaking the British record to sit on the bench. That doesn't happen. But you can do it. You can do it. You
shouldn't be starting.
But you can do it one game. Hold on, Nick. Sorry. You can do it one game, Charlie. You can do it. Yeah, Ikitiki is going to start.
Sure.
But I said, if Ikitiki comes in, okay, let me just tell you, that's what I said in the football terrace, and I got clowned. Everyone laughed at me, and the chat agreed, by the way. I said that if Ikitiki comes in, plays against Man United, score a couple of goals, the game after, I'm talking about important games, I'm talking about the Real Madrid, and then you play Ikitiki again, and he keeps shining, and Isak is now, his role is dropped to the bench, right? People are going to start, internal discussion going to be, bro, we spent 125. We're selling jerseys for this guy left and right. He's our biggest investment currently in the team. We cannot have him on the bench. Like, it's impossible. Like, and people think, no, Arne Slot will. No, the board, the club, the media will actually not allow this, because it's not, I'm sorry. If Ikitiki is sitting on the bench and coming on, it's fine. The 125 million pounds after kicking a fuss like this, arguably one of the best strikers, they're going to give. Imagine if Marmoush comes in, plays well, and then Haaland is, because he struggled for like 5-6 games, he drops to the bench, and then it keeps happening. Haaland, who didn't cost 125, will be like, okay, well, what is this? What is my role to the team now? That happens. That happens even from players that are worth 50 million.
But you have to perform though. You have to perform though. Like that's the reality. There's only so many.
That's a different story. That's a different story.
Yeah.
I think it's now talking about solutions for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Arne Slot has his biggest job on his hand now, because he signed a bunch of players that don't tactically fit the system that he was playing last season.
Why do you mean tactically don't fit?
No, because he signed 2 strikers. He signed a 10 when they don't traditionally play with a 10. And he signed a right back who's very attacking.
He's basically a right winger.
He's
a right winger converted to a right wing back.
And he signed a left back who doesn't tuck in, who's more of an overlapping left back. So I think they're set up well if they have a back 3. But now the other issue is they don't have enough centre backs to play a back 3.
No, you can't play a back 3.
No, there's no centre.
No, if you want to talk about systems, the only way it can work possibly is playing a diamond, playing 4 in midfield, and forcing our fullbacks to maraud.
But then the
forward.
width has to come from the fullbacks. Then there's no.
But if you're talking about your best assets of your fullbacks, is providing width, is providing that overlapping play and marauding up and down the flanks. So it's a lot of work that Arne Slot has to do. He has to figure this out, because we can't afford to be dropping any more points at this point, because we don't want to build a slight lead and then it becomes a bigger lead and then it becomes almost unattainable to catch Arsenal.
But then having said that, though, Liverpool are only a point behind after 7 games, so it's not like
it's not crazy.
But
to be honest with you, Charlie, the fact
that Liverpool,
but the fact that Liverpool now, some Liverpool fans are saying that Man United can come to our ground and get a result. That is a disaster.
Well, they could do it.
That is a disaster, actually.
But didn't they get a 0-0? They got 0-0 there last season, Man United.
Yeah, but Mo, that's always been Liverpool. Even at our best, they've ended up getting a point at Anfield, or they haven't let us win at their own ground. That's always been at when we were dog, we would beat them at Old Trafford.
Let me ask you a question.
When they are dog, they would always get a result against us.
Is Konate and Gravenberch okay? Because I heard they're both like.
Konate is injured. They say
Konate. Gravenberch is a precaution, which is okay, but Konate is a bigger worry. Yeah.
So it could be Joe Gomez then starting alongside.
They're both fine for you guys. But when it comes to the way you guys are currently playing, I think you guys can see too many chances to opponents. And if Alisson is injured he saved you a lot in that Palace game. It could cost you. If he's back after this international break, I don't know. You can tell me.
He's back after the next international.
Yeah, he's not back
in
to the end of
November.
November.
Okay, so
No?
yeah, this
Ali.
could be a tough month without Alisson, because you guys, I would say arguably he's been your best player to start the season, even though your defense has been quite poor compared to what it was last year.
Well,
Hamas
two
really
things.
had a great game, to be honest.
Two things for that. Mamardashvili was very good against Chelsea. The only thing that I had a bit of worry is his distribution with his right foot, but that's is a minor thing. It's only a minor slight with him. But he did save us a couple of times against Chelsea. And people forget Mamardashvili is a very, very talented goalkeeper.
Good, yeah.
He's arguably good enough to start for many, many top 16.
Yeah, but isn't Alisson one of the best in
teams
the world?
in the Premier League?
Yeah,
Alisson's the best in the world, but Mamardashvili is also a very, very good goalkeeper.
Yeah, but there is a
Like
drop
he's
off.
probably good enough to start for. He's good enough to start for Chelsea. He's probably good enough to start for Tottenham, and he's good enough to start for United.
Sure.
Like this is like three. This is like half of the top 6 teams. So
No, but there's still a drop off because Alisson's ability 1v1 to just stop those chances on a regular basis. He's I think that's like his specialty.
that's true. But again, you still haven't made a point about Mamardashvili. I said he's a very, very good goalkeeper. He's a very good shot stopper. He has stopped a couple 1v1s against Chelsea as well.
Right.
Like his sheer presence in goal is another thing. Man's like 6'7".
Okay, so then I don't want to hear any concerns. Then.
Yeah,
It's not bad, but dropping off from but not having Alisson is going to be a disadvantage.
I said that, but they said
not having Konate and starting Gomez is a little bit of a worry.
I feel the drop off if you drop off from like Konate to Gomez and then Alisson to Mamardashvili, I feel like the drop off for the defense is a lot bigger than the goalkeeper.
Sure.
Not because of how good Mamardashvili is.
There is actually bigger problems. They played Conor Bradley, didn't work. They played Frimpong, it didn't work. They played Kirkes. He was like a good game on game. And then they sub in Robertson again. It doesn't work. In the midfield, and I'm just going to be honest with you, people think we're harsh on Liverpool. Even Liverpool fans, I watch their shows. I watch their shows.
They're pulling their hair out.
It's not only about that. It's like they expected Kirkes to come in. He played for Bournemouth, for Iraola, advanced manager who plays progressive football, and they expected him to come to Liverpool and they replicate the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then
what people don't realize, Mo, is that like when you see players that are like big fish in smaller ponds, they just think the step up's going to be seamless.
Yeah, but the fullback is the easiest position to play in football.
But 9 times
easiest position.
But a lot of the time, I don't think the fullbacks.
Yes, guys. Ask any professional; they'll tell you exactly. I can explain to you why. Actually,
but a lot of times when players move from being a big fish in a small pond to a massive football club where they're just another player, it's very difficult to make that adjustment for a lot of players.
Again, like I feel like you guys already answered your own question. It's not only Kirkes. Robertson has looked poor. Frimpong's look poor. Bradley's look poor. There is it can't be just Kirkes. Exact, bro. That's what I was saying. If I would have a lot more, I would cuss Wirtz a lot more if he was the only player in the team that wasn't before.
I don't want to go there, Ram. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Don't let me start, man. Sam discuss this every day.
No, there's a bigger problem than just going at.
Can we stop this?
No, but that doesn't mean that Florian Wirtz escapes criticism. He still gets criticized.
Go back to this point.
I'm sorry, Gal. I'm sorry. Yes, I cannot blame Robertson. I cannot blame Kirkes. I cannot blame Curtis Jones. I cannot blame Gravenberch. But the players that you sign for that much money should elevate above the system to at least do something different. That's why you pay the top money.
That's the only criticism that I have. But the only issue I have with that, if everyone's playing like dog crap, our left winger, our right winger, our striker,
that's a problem as well, and a system problem. It's both.
Like, there is a system problem. 100%.
That's what I'm saying. It can't.
I'm not saying.
But
let me tell you something.
But why did it work well in the first half versus Everton? Because you dropped Florian Wirtz and the midfield had cookies.
No, because we reverted back to type. We reverted back to
you
type.
dropped Florian Wirtz and you played and you had
And also our wing backs,
when
our wing backs played as wing backs.
What wing backs? They are left back
on.
and right back. They are not wing backs.
Okay,
Yeah,
our full backs played as a proper marauding fullback.
Your last half of
overlapping.
football was versus Everton, where you dropped Florian Wirtz.
But when did Liverpool last play with a proper 10?
Are you gonna forget about Atletico Madrid,
Coutinho.
Gal?
Yeah, so when did you last play the proper 10? And this is what we mean about balance and upsetting the apple cart a little bit, right? You bring in a big player like Florian Wirtz. When did Liverpool last play with an out-and-out number 10?
We haven't.
Coutinho.
No, I wouldn't even say Coutinho. It's probably. Did we play? No, Shaqiri at one point. We played Shaqiri.
No, I mean the proper 10. I mean, Shaqiri's not a 10; he's a winger.
But when he played for us, he played as a 10.
So really, we're talking about Coutinho. Really, is in the last proper number 10.
Surely, what does that have to do with this? Is
But
a new.
what that has to do though is what that's got to do is the fact is that Liverpool don't play with a traditional 10, and they suddenly go and spend a British record fee on a number 10 when they've not played with a number 10 for years. Why?
Yeah, but that's a different coach. Like, imagine if Arteta leaves now and we say that.
I get it's different coach. It's a different coach, sure, but the point still stands. Liverpool don't normally play with a 10, so why are they suddenly now thinking? Oh, we're like suddenly. Well, we need to switch.
I'm going to tell you why. Okay, can I answer this quickly? Because Salah last season, Charlie, and I said that before to you. We spoke about it. Salah last season was the number one chance creator in the league and for Liverpool. And the drop-off after him was massive. So they needed to go out and get somebody else to create the chances. Because per what you said, Salah is never replicating the same season. So they cannot rely on his creativity and Trent left. So they needed to get someone to fucking create the chances. Which is, who else is better than Wirtz available in the world? They with all due respect, they aren't going to go and get Fabian Ruiz or Vitinha. There was only one player in the world that creates that volume of chances that is available on the market that Bayern Leverkusen are willing to sell, which is Florian Wirtz. So they went and they put their money where their mouth is, and they said, okay, we're getting a 10 to create the chances. That 10 comes in, creates some chances, but not a lot.
The reason why Charlie's right, in my opinion, and I agree with his point, is because now you have Florian Wirtz operating in a similar space where McAllister operates, and it's basically dropping both of their performances because the cohesion is not there, and you're seeing both players not playing to their potential.
But McAllister doesn't create chances, Igal. That's a myth that Hussam created on the internet.
No, but McAllister can get on the ball.
Hussam created on the internet. I'm telling you, this Hussam guy, bro, has a lot of big. I'm telling you, he last season. I went and checked, bro. McAllister dictates the game, passes the ball, gets the ball from Gravenberch. McAllister, on paper, doesn't create chances. You see Odegaard, right? That didn't have a good season. Create more chances. You see Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez, the number 8. McAllister is a fantastic player. But based on the facts and what I've seen, McAllister isn't that, you know that thread of a pass between the lines.
But Mo, he does have the ability, but doesn't show it. Doesn't do it enough.
Exactly. That's the point, Ram. Like, I have no evidence. Like, the ability is the ability, right? Like, McAllister has the eye, has the ability. But did he do it for Liverpool, Ram? Did you watch McAllister threading the ball between the line for a one-on-one consistently, like the likes of Palmer do it? You know what I mean? Like what Kevin De Bruyne does. I'm not saying the same level.
But not at that level, but to the level of the majority of
Odegaard, for example. Is he a chance creator like Odegaard?
Well, Odegaard's not really like a proper chance creator like that, is he?
Even though you're saying exactly this, which is it's not a dig at him. He isn't a 10. He's a deep line playmaker. He's like an Enzo Fernandez, but because Enzo Fernandez plays higher on the pitch, he creates more. By the way, numbers don't lie, guys. You can go and check the stats of last season.
Fernandez's numbers were very good last season.
Amazing. In McAllister last season, if you look, Szoboszlai created more big chances than him. What does that tell you?
But he's the more advanced player, though, Mo. That's why we went and got Florian Wirtz.
So I was responding to Charlie, who's
you. Could we say then, right? This is just a theory, right? Because McAllister started the season terribly, and he's been awful. And whether he's fully fit or not, or whatever,
directly has to do with Florian Wirtz.
But I was going to say, do you think if Liverpool hadn't have signed Wirtz, I'm not saying I think this. I'm just putting it out there. If Liverpool hadn't have signed Wirtz, would McAllister have had a better start to the season?
No, because
Look
how?
at the game
No,
versus
now,
Everton.
how do you come up with
Everton.
that?
Look at the first half versus Everton. Perfect.
Look at the
perfect
first half
example.
against Atletico Madrid, where we scored 2 goals and we played them off the park. This is what pisses me off. It's not Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is not the guy that makes Alexis McAllister passes straight to flipping Mateta. Like, what are we doing here? If he can't make a 5-yard ball, that's on the player. You're telling me it's about Florian Wirtz. Like,
No, it's not.
Everything's
It's not.
Florian Wirtz. Florian
but
Wirtz is no. You know what? Florian Wirtz is the reason Konate can't pass the ball. The reason why we can't play through the midfield. The reason why we can see goals. It's all Florian Wirtz. Fuck it. Florian Wirtz is the reason that we suck. How about that?
No, the reason why you guys suck is because you haven't replaced Trent's creativity. You're relying on Mo Salah, Gravenberch, and Trent to be your build-up play and your creativity last season. This season, you don't have Trent. Mo Salah is not getting on the ball as much, and Gravenberch is playing so much deeper at times. The only game you really see him in the box was Everton, and you played well versus Everton.
But I would actually argue, Gal, that Gravenberch has played higher up the pitch this season. And we've seen it with the goal against Everton and the fact against Chelsea when Caicedo scored, because Gravenberch was further up the pitch. He's obviously been given a license to get a bit more forward this season. There was a massive space which he should have filled, which Caicedo just wandered in before he slapped it top bin. So Gravenberch has actually been given license to push further forward, and I wonder whether that as well.
Who has allowed that? Now we're talking, and who has allowed that to happen?
The manager.
The only reason why I have a lot of gripe on that is because of this stupid total football that he likes to do. Everyone attacks, everyone defends. Unfortunately, football don't.
Not last year.
No. Gal, even if you look at last year, because of Szoboszlai being so athletic as he is, but the whole philosophy of Arne Slot is total football. Everyone attacks, everyone defends. That's how he plays football. The only if you look at Gravenberch, at times he would always drop in between the centre backs to receive the ball. Now he is not. So we got a massive hole. We don't have a recognised 6 anymore. We're basically playing with 2 8s and a 10, which will never ever work.
Before we continue, can I just do this? Guys, it's about 700 people of you here. Can we get the likes up, people, a little bit? Guys, we're only on 120 likes. Can we get the likes up? It helps the channel massively, right? So hit that like button, people. Subscribe if you're new. Glorious MCFC says, it kind of irritates me when you guys say they have Pep, like our players are mid and are only good because of Pep. Do you all really think that is if so bad? Like what does that mean?
You're literally a 2-3-man team. That's literally what City
my friend, I'm just gonna ask you something. Doku's good, but can you rely on him 38 games? Probably not.
Rodri and Donnarumma are I think are world class, but obviously you need more than 3 players to
Diaz is 1 game good, 1 game bad. 1 game good, Kuzanov is in and out of the team. Ait-Nouri is still injured. You rely on a younger center left back, which is a great guy. You know what I mean? Rodri's in and out of the team currently. We're not saying the players are shit. The team is just not stable enough for me to sit here and say that City are ahead of Arsenal and Liverpool. That's why, apart from Pep, I can't actually see otherwise.
He responded with another comment. He's saying, for years, not just this year. Duh. By the way, for the longest time, people used to say City's second 11 was good enough to get top 4. City were extremely respected, their squad. Your squad has been diminished and you haven't replaced them with quality like you used to have. Before you used to have Riyad Mahrez, all these guys.
Arsenal have kept back in an inexperienced manager for 6 seasons and now have the best squad in the Premier League. If they don't win anything major, it's the biggest failure. Slot has already succeeded in his first year, which is nobody's arguing.
I agree.
100%, and that's facts, yeah.
It still doesn't change the fact, if you look at the season, they're still...
Do you guys know it's astonishing that Liverpool fans want people to put more pressure on Arne Slot than actually rivals? It's actually astonishing.
Oh, it's just saying facts more. If you spend the way he spent...
I was saying Liverpool under more pressure, I would get cussed for trying to divert pressure from Arsenal.
Yeah, but that's you. That's you.
Let me ask you guys a question to respond to Zain before I do the next super chat. Just quickly, say yes or no. If Pep Guardiola won the title and spent 480 million in one summer, what would your expectations be the next year?
Depends on who he signed.
Win.
Okay, he breaks the record.
Yeah,
He
win the
breaks
league.
record twice.
Win the league. Simple as that.
Only win the league. So only win the league.
And you got to try and win. You've got to win
this
Champions League as well.
with this current squad, yeah.
Okay, if Pep Guardiola won the league with a team playing whatever way, and he goes and he spends 480, as did he break it 3 times? They broke it 2 times, the British record, right? What are the expectations would be on Pep Guardiola?
Minimum win the
Minimum
Premier League,
double.
and probably win Champions League as well.
Minimum double.
That's what I'm talking about. And as a club as well, Man City will be demanded to actually win more than just the league, right? Like, Arteta is Arteta, guys. Arteta is Arteta. Arteta is like 6 years. You have to win the league, right? As a football club, when you go spend that money, as an institute, players, manager, boards, everybody, right? As a whole, if you spend that money, the expectations would be to win again, to retain the title. That's your expectations. And if you don't do it, you fail.
And you claim that you watch a lot of Liverpool fans, a lot of watch Liverpool content, yeah. Has one Liverpool fan said that we shouldn't win the league this season?
No, none.
No?
0.
But should there be an expectation?
Yeah, but Charlie presented a very good point. The Liverpool fans of you, Sam, Drifty, Callum, the Coppish guys, Lewis, Anfield Index, Grace, you guys are saying that. But every time I'm fucking opening Twitter or YouTube and watching Sky Sports, I'm seeing, Wirtz will come good. It's a transition.
And you know what's mad,
like,
I don't control the media. I don't control the media.
You know what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Ram. But I blame.
You know what's mad, right? When we spent the big money on Caicedo, right, and he had a bad start, there was none of this. Oh, he needs time. It was on him from the first minute. And it was he's a massive waste of money. Oh, Chelsea have done they've signed the wrong player. Yeah. And then it's Wirtz, and it's like, he'll come good. It's a transformative season and whatnot. It's like
different circumstances.
Different
circumstances.
Bullshit though. It's the fact
that seriously, it's like I hear when the Liverpool fans on YouTube, like the Rams and the rest of them, they talk. But if I'm really, I saw people after one game, Enzo Fernandez. In January, who came in mid-season.
Waste the money.
Well, he's done. He's finished.
Yeah.
Including myself,
all the big money signings that Chelsea make, right? The media, like the narrative around Chelsea spending money and the players is so different to Liverpool. Liverpool get a pass. They get a different treatment to what most clubs would get in a win. Can you just imagine, right? If Chelsea had done this, if Arsenal had done this, if Man United had spent this money that Liverpool have spent, and we had this start to the season, right, where we'd lost 3 games in a row, it wasn't particularly looking great. The difference in coverage for those 3 clubs compared to the coverage on Liverpool is outrageous.
Just look at Gyökeres. Gyökeres scored 3 goals in the league, and he's still getting cost more than Florian Wirtz.
And Isak as well, and he's getting more flack than Isak is.
Facts.
Yeah, because Isak didn't have a preseason.
Isak didn't play for 4 months, man. What are we doing here, man?
Where was that excuse then for Caicedo, who had no preseason when he joined us? Where's that excuse?
No, but he played for Brighton, didn't he? Preseason.
What, like 1 game? He didn't have a proper preseason.
No, but he trained preseason with Brighton.
Gyökeres had a preseason. He played 2 games for Arsenal.
Isak was fully extradited from
the
squad.
But the point
by his own choice.
No, but since that's his choice, and the point is as well is that Liverpool are treated differently, and there's a different expectation and a different narrative around players when Liverpool sign them and spend money compared to when other clubs. And that's not unfair, because that is factually true, because we've seen it play out in front of our very eyes.
Facts. And you know something?
Right.
I said this the moment you guys started speaking about this. Liverpool, Liverpool fans are planting seeds, but at the same time demanding trophies. So they're planting seeds in case they fail, but they are still demanding trophies. But you know something? Because I'm saying it, it's biased.
What do you mean by planting seeds?
They themselves are showing us that they are planting seeds of doubt in their own team for everyone. But when we said it at the beginning of the season, you know what? You've done too much change. You're gonna miss Trent. You should have signed a midfielder. You should have signed another winger. These things, they want to speak about it now, but when we say it, or I say it 2-3 weeks ago when the season was about to begin, they're like, shut up. You're an Arsenal fan. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right, Egal. On the point at hand, when you were saying all this stuff, were we not going for a centre-back? in Gay.
I never.
Why did you leave it until the final day? Why was that not done before?
Oh, it's a smart business, Charlie. Stop. Charlie, don't ever do that. It's a smart
Oh,
business.
smart business to wait till the final day. Yeah,
they were trying to get the best deal. It's a smart business, Charlie. Why? Charlie, stop that.
Oh, no,
Bro, are you deliberately trying to make me mad?
Charlie, you don't know how to run a football club. You don't know how to run the business. You don't.
Edwards,
why did
No, you don't. They had to. They were trying, and they trying to get the best. It's on Crystal Palace. It's on Crystal Palace.
I see what you see.
Why did they sign a winger? Why did they sign 2 strikers?
We had to sign 2 strikers, Igal.
They had to sign that someone passed away, Igal, and the other guy left.
Someone passed away, and it was going to be a massive.
They could have signed Joao Pedro.
Igal, they literally cannot go to the season with Isak only because Isak has an injury. No. If Isak gets injured, which is he has an injury record, Igal, they had to sign 2 strikers. Now the question is, Igal, why did they sign? Why did they spend 200 million on the strikers? That is different. I don't want to go listen. To be honest with you, Charlie, I'm going to tell you something. It's complete opposite from Chelsea than Liverpool. When we go to Chelsea, Liverpool fans on YouTube, the fans put so much pressure on their team to play well and actually win. You can talk about the media. It's the complete opposite. The fans of Chelsea don't put any pressure on their team, but the media put pressure on them. It's the opposite, Charlie. It goes both ways, Habibi. Am I wrong? You see, with all the Chelsea fans, well, we are the new man. It's his second season. You see, with all the Chelsea fans, Charlie, it's his second season. He done well. We won the Club World Cup. We're still building the team. It's young.
He has done well.
And the media. It's the opposite for Liverpool. That's it's the irony of it. It's complete opposite. You hear Ram, we must win. You hear Hussam, we must win. You hear Callum, we must win.
Yeah, but Liverpool are in a totally different position to what Chelsea are in. So,
but I'm not asking you. Okay, I'm not going to go to Chelsea now. But no one asked you to win the league, Charlie. No one did. No one asked you to win the league. I need to finish. Can I say? No, you see, with Charlie, it's well, we're in transition,
No, but I never said we're in transition. But
exactly.
No, but Charlie, what I've heard this season: world champions, best left back, best right back, R9 regen, and Joao Pedro. The best defensive midfielder in the league, the best, arguably one of the best 8s in the league in Enzo Fernandez. So why is there no pressure on you even challenging or potentially going?
Before we do that, let me do these 2 super chats to respect Tony. Wirtz was the wrong signing. He may come good, but still the wrong signing. That is back in Charlie's point. Slot didn't manage a cam position. Liverpool didn't have a cam for years, and majority of the GA and chances created came from the wingers. Actually, that is good. Actually, it came from the false 9. You remember the
untrue. It's actually untrue. If you look at Arne Slott's career, he's played a 10 because he had a midfield.
And that's what I was saying. It's a new manager.
He had a midfield of Kirkju, Timber, and Carsten Stengs, and Stengs was the 10.
Okay, fair enough. So that's why, Tony, I said that Charlie's point is valid for the club, but it's not valid for the manager. The manager can change the style of the team. It's up to him.
Yeah, of course he can.
Also, the bull crap that Wirtz created chances is so weak. Liverpool fans bashed Odegaard for not enough GA when he was creating bulk chances. Weak fans.
You know what? I blame you, Mo. I blame you because I feel like you're conflating my arguments together. Yeah, because when I say I put a lot of the heat towards Arne Slot, I still don't negate the fact that I still expect Florian Wirtz to produce the magic that he's produced at Leverkusen. Like I've seen this guy.
By the way, I'm still standing by it. When you spend 100 million on a player that is a 10,
I know. I hear it. I
told Hussam 25 GA minimum for me
in the league.
I still stand by it.
What for who? For Wirtz?
100%. I still stand by it.
I still say double
this season to be
double
success.
You guys think that a player that is cost 100 million, that won the player of the year in the Bundesliga, got invincible in the Bundesliga, signed for 116 million, 10 goals and 10 assists, playing for the best team on paper in the league is good enough as a 10.
Double, I say minimum.
So 10 goals, 10 assists.
Minimum, bare minimum.
Are we talking all comps or Prem?
No, Prem.
10-10 in Prem.
Charlie, do you know? I'm gonna tell you guys something. I swear to God, and I'm gonna tell you this, Ram. Do you know if Cole Palmer get 10 and 10? Do you know the amount of scrutiny he will get if he just gets 10 goals, 10 assists? It's gonna be crazy.
Palmer, I know Palmer come from City and hadn't really played much, but that first season, I think he got 33 GA in the first season. He got like 22 goals or something, and 11.
Basically, I'm holding. Okay, for me, basically, I'm holding Wirtz to the same standards. For me, there is only 2 10s in the league that are out and out 10s currently in the big teams. And Wirtz, right?
Yeah.
Odegaard might be a 10, might be an 8. You can say that. McAllister is not that. There is nobody. Even Reinders is not this. Foden is not. If I'm telling you guys, if Cole Palmer gets 10 goals, 10 assists in the league and ends the league playing 34 games and get 10 and 10, they will say it's a flop. A flop.
Mate, Palmer scored 15. Palmer scored 15 goals in the Premier League last season, right? And people were saying he weren't that good.
Exactly, Charlie. That's what I'm saying.
People said he scored one goal. That's the
second half of the season.
It was purple patch. People, I didn't say people say he wasn't that good. I say people.
Okay, I'm gonna say it was purple patch.
He scored.
Second half of the season, he wasn't as good as he was to start.
20 GA.
He wasn't. No.
20 GA for Wirtz is
but Mo, that's the thing. I know what
show us what you're capable of doing.
I know what Mo is doing with the whole Palmer thing, yeah. Because the whole thing about Palmer and the comparisons about if he had 20 GA, he's still not good enough. Because people were putting him in the same conversation as Mohamed Salah. If people are putting him on the same last season, don't know Cole Palmer. I'm talking about the fact that you say.
But he set the standards for himself, because when you come from a 8 GA season, that's the question.
100%. And if you look at the start of last season, he was doing very, very well. But when people say, "Oh, if you're going to get 20 GA," I'm sorry, you're not on the conversation of Cole Palmer, or not on the conversation of Mohamed Salah, because this guy puts up 30 GA.
To be honest with you, I think within the next couple of weeks, I think the one that will get more scrutiny is Alexander Isak if he doesn't actually start banging goals. People will forget about Wirtz quickly, and people will start talking about Isak.
Who do you think there's more pressure on, Wirtz or Isak?
Isak.
The answer is
no. Wait. What? Oh, always making about Arsenal.
Did he just say Eucharist? Did he say Eucharist?
It's true. Liverpool's new signings, because the team won the league last year, they will not face the same level of scrutiny as the Arsenal side.
Egal, soon Havertz might be the starter for you, and everyone will just. We'll see. Do Liverpool fans expect to win back-to-back Premier Leagues? Yes. I've not seen one Liverpool fan say otherwise.
They were favorites to do so.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
We expected it to happen.
Charlie and Egal, when was the last time Arsenal and Chelsea spent 15 million in a year and still won the Premier League? Liverpool get time because they spend less.
But this is nonsense, right?
It's nonsense. We spent 7 million. We spent 7 million a year.
He's speaking like that Liverpool had a shit squad. That was a title. That was a title-winning squad.
Ask Egal what his opinions of Liverpool's squad at the start of last season. I beg ask.
That was a squad capable of winning the title.
Absolutely not.
Stop being quiet. Speak, bro. What were your thoughts on Liverpool's squad last season?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Can we just acknowledge that Arteta walked into a team that needed rebuilding. Klopp walked into a team that needed rebuilding. Pep walked into a team that he needed a year to fix up.
I didn't ask you that question.
He walked into a team that challenged for the league.
That's not the answer. That's not the answer to the question.
I'm just saying. Slot walked into a team that did not need too much change. He did what he did to make Gravenberch a great player, and they won the league. In all honesty, when you have a team that's already of that caliber, we've seen with Antonio Conte, we've seen numerous times at Chelsea where a manager comes in and wins the league their first season.
Mo Habibi, I did not hear this last season. I'm
telling you, I'm gonna call this out, right? This is complete rubbish.
What did I say?
Habibi, I did not hear this last season.
I'm gonna tell you. I can respond. Can you let us respond to you?
I'm just simply saying Liverpool's team is not like he had to do a whole rebuild. Why are they complaining about money spent?
Can I tell you? Can I respond to you, Gal? So let me respond to you. Number one, the team that was last season didn't win the league nor the Champions League. The team that actually Arne Slot inherited had a failed striker, an injury-prone Diego Jota, may he rest in peace. A Gakpo that is not good enough. A Luis Diaz that everyone wanted to sell. No DM.
Not me.
No, yeah, but the majority. No DM, egal. No creative midfielder to play. Sabozlai was dog shit the season before, and people wanted him sold after they said, yeah, he's not good. He's the Steven Gerrard. Gravenberch is not good enough. Okay, let me just, I'm repeating what was said in the media the year before. Gravenberch is not good enough. Hold on.
No, you're completely misunderstanding my point, though.
Robertson is finished, right? The only player is Salah. And also, let me tell you, Salah was on a decline, and everyone said, yeah, maybe Salah should go to Saudi now and take the Saudi money. So none of us, nobody in the media said that this Liverpool team, especially with a new manager that is coming from the Eredivisie in the Netherlands, and we know that the managers that come from the Netherlands are normally not successful, right? Nobody said that Liverpool.
Right, let me stop.
People said
right
Liverpool
there.
that finished fifth.
When Antonio Conte took over Chelsea, did anyone say Chelsea's going to win the league?
No.
Yes. No. Challenge for the league. Challenge for the league. Challenge for the league.
My point exactly. I am simply making the comparison to Arteta and Klopp taking over a team having to rebuild.
Yeah, but hold on. Did that team? Let me ask you.
You're misunderstanding my point.
Stop. Did Liverpool win the league the season before?
No, they didn't, and Chelsea didn't either. They finished 8th.
No, they did. No, they did.
The season before they finished 8th.
The season
the season before they finished 8th.
Okay, but Chelsea, but Liverpool were in the title race until the final days of the season. They were good enough to compete for the league already. My point is simple. Arne Slot did not come in here and reinvent the wheel.
No, they didn't. The season before, Liverpool finished third, finished fourth. Man United finished third, if I'm not mistaken.
I am simply saying...
Hold on. I'm stating facts, Igal. Season before... Igal, just wait. Listen to me, please. Listen to me. The season before, Jurgen Klopp left. The season before that, Erik ten Hag finished third, Arsenal finished second, and Man City finished first. In comparison with Antonio Conte's Chelsea, the season before they finished 10th, when Antonio Conte kicked a fuss and wanted to leave the club to get his payday, Chelsea won the league, Igal. So see the difference?
Okay, stop.
Okay, did I give you the facts, right? Did I give you the facts?
The season before,
Mourinho.
The season before Klopp left, he was top of the table in January, and then he had an injury crisis. His team was already capable of competing for the league. I'm simply saying, when people make comments like that Super Chat made, you're almost making it seem like he took over a team that had no capability of winning the league and has shown no prowess of winning.
No, but Igal, you won't say.
I am drawing more comparisons to Arne Slot taking over and winning. It's more similar to what Conte did than it is what Pep did.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
if you say
that's fair. That's fair.
If you say that is fair. If you say this way, that is fair. But you don't. But you start. Hold on, Ram. But you started.
I am not belittling anybody. I'm just making comparisons.
No, hold on. But you started, Igal, by saying he took over a winning team. No, he didn't.
A team capable of winning. Yeah, a team capable of winning, Mo. There's no. You can't sit here and say that the team Slot took over was not capable of winning.
This is such bullcrap. Do you know what the funny thing is? Yeah, the season, because I was doing these preview shows.
You know the funny thing is, I was argue with me for 10 minutes just to agree with me 2 minutes later.
Egal, I was doing shows.
Nobody's doing that to piss you off, Egal. But Charlie agrees with you. No, we're not doing that to piss you off.
I was doing shows with Egal on the football terrace. Yeah,
which comment, Egal?
He kept on saying, honestly, if Liverpool lose Klopp, everything will fall apart. The players the players only played well because Jurgen Klopp got the best out of them. That was the narrative that was being spun at the time, because none of these people rated our players. They only said because Jurgen Klopp got the best out of these players. He's a great manager. He knows how to get wins over the line. That's why we're doing so well.
Guess what?
That's what was being told. That was being said. That was the narrative. I am not hearing this bull crap.
No, but Chelsea,
this team was good enough to win the league.
Chelsea, when they finished 8th, the narrative was Hazard's finished. That was
no. The narrative was the narrative was those players. No,
Hazard was finished. Chelsea are finished.
No. The narrative of Chelsea was those players don't play for a manager. They only play for themselves.
Now Chelsea are going to get away with it.
It was always player power. It was always player power.
Only when Conte won the league, everyone changed their opinion and said this Chelsea
No,
team
no,
is down
Egal.
tools.
No, the narrative was
Charlie,
because
come on, back
no,
in here.
no, the narrative.
You know it as a Chelsea
The
fan.
narrative was those.
Did
No,
people
no,
not
because
doubt
Chelsea,
Chelsea?
Can we not
Chelsea
speak
fans
over
won't
each
admit
other,
it.
please?
Chelsea fans won't admit it. Chelsea fans will never admit it. At the time, it was player power. Those players had more power
Let
than
me,
the manager. That
okay.
even their greatest ever manager, Jose Mourinho, had to get sacked because those players down-tooled against him. That's the simple fact.
Let me do these super chats and then we'll. Wirtz, who had 22 GA 2 seasons in a row for a Bundesliga in a weaker league, you think he can do similar GA in a much stronger league, but he plays in a much better team, AMT. But he's playing in a much. So why did he pay 100 million then? Why 116 million?
Because he's a top player, but it's
Exactly.
but it's also fair to say as well, right, that the transition of attackers recently from the Bundesliga that come to the Premier League isn't particularly good. Now that
So
could
he can be another Havertz, you say? Another Havertz.
No, I'm not saying it definitely is going to be, but
Or
I'm
it
not
could be
gonna say-
another Ilkay Gundogan.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's going to be another disaster or anything, Mo. But I think it's naive not to think that actually there could be a possibility that it doesn't work out.
Joel
And-
Matip,
We're
Roberto
talking,
Firmino,
we're talking about like
There's
attacking
plenty.
players.
Damn, man,
Roberto
he's plenty on
Firmino.
the other side.
Attacking players. We're talking about attacking
Leroy
players.
Sane,
We're
Roberto
talking about attacking
Firmino.
players, though. You know, when you look at, I know for Chelsea it's not been great, but like in Nkunku, for example, who was a Bundesliga Player of the Year, was not very good. Havertz mixed. He's done much better at Arsenal.
Champions League.
Yeah, he did win us the Champions League, but in terms of like being a success at Chelsea in an overall
Haaland.
picture, probably not. Haaland is obviously.
Have you noticed something, Ram?
Roberto Firmino,
Haaland's an
Roberto
alien.
Firmino, yeah?
Leroy Sane, Ilkay Gundogan. There's players that
Yeah,
have Emre Can
Hold
when
on.
he was at Liverpool.
Emre Can was very good at Liverpool.
Emre
Yeah,
Can when
but
he was at
we're
Liverpool.
talking about attackers. We're not talking about just players
Kevin
in
De
general.
Bruyne.
Thiago Alcantara.
The De Bruyne is fair. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying some of the players.
Guys,
in
I just
recent
asked the
times-
question. Can it be a case that he can be like Kai Havertz? The reason why I'm saying this, it's very similar. Kai Havertz, before he went to Chelsea, everyone in the world
Outstanding
wanted
at
Kai
Leverkusen,
Havertz.
yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
wanted Kai Havertz. Everyone. Chelsea, when they signed him, they were like, this is a steal. For 65 million, this is a steal. It's the best player in the upcoming player. Maybe. I'm not saying it will happen. Wirtz has a lot of talent, in my opinion. You watch Wirtz, passes the eye test, fantastic. The physicality is the problem. That's it. Liverpool were so good that they hadn't won a league in 4 seasons prior to with a better manager to respond to Charlie and Igal, actually.
No, hold on. But on that, right?
No.
Just because they hadn't won the league in the previous 4 years, right, doesn't mean that the team was bad. It just means that there are other teams were better.
But I'm not saying bad. They're not Burnley. They're not Ipswich. No one is saying that.
Let's not let.
The
Oh,
narrative.
remember, Liverpool were actually in the title race until the later months of the season.
Yeah,
I've literally said what you said the other day, Gal. I told you what you said at the time. The whole Jurgen Klopp was getting the best
Yeah,
out of
but
these
you know
players.
something?
These players aren't really that
See the
great.
difference? Slot walked into a team that finished on 82 points the season before, just only 9 points behind the league winners. They just needed a few additions, and they added Chiesa, Jordan. So that is fantastic. Chiesa is the one that won them the league last season.
You wanna know
Absolutely.
something?
Big
They
up,
finished on 82 points the season prior. How many points did they finish on to win the league last year?
Igal, can I ask you something for real? And just answer me this. Before the season started last season, what chances did you give Liverpool of winning the league with a new manager that you didn't know about before? Igal, just stop, Ram, stop. Igal, just answer me this.
Probably
What did you-
like
how-
10, 15%.
All right.
What changed?
That's a lie.
What
That's
changed?
even a lie. That's
What
even a
changed?
lie.
What changed?
What changed? You tell us.
What
I'm
changed?
giving you the mic.
They came into that season. They started off very well. Everybody else, what do you call it? Started to have injuries and issues. Liverpool continued to go. Once they got a lead, they never gave it up, and they blitzed the league. And my point exactly. How many points did they finish the season prior? 28. How many points did they finish last season? 80 something.
Oh, Charlie. They
They didn't have to add too many points.
This
this
is
season
such.
prior.
I need to do. We need to move on from this.
Am I great? Am I reaching?
Liverpool
They didn't have to add
didn't
too many
win,
points.
guys. Liverpool didn't win the league because they were extraordinary, but because City fell off.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. From game week,
and Arsenal.
at game week 30. Sorry, up to game week 31, before the Fulham game, we only lost one game. That was against Forest.
By the way, I think both things can be true, right? Liverpool were outstanding last season, but they also won the title because Arsenal and City weren't good enough. Both things can be true. By the
No,
way,
they can't. No, they can't.
of course they can,
Yeah,
Mo.
they
No, they can't.
Of course, both things,
No, I can't.
both things
I
can
can't.
coexist. Liverpool can be outstanding, right? But Arsenal and City could also have dropped off. Both things can coexist.
But they don't correlate.
They do. The
No, hold
reason
on.
why they won it the way they won it is because
Can I
everyone
explain my point of view? They don't correlate. As Ram said, they lost only one game to Nottingham Forest. They won the majority of the games.
But
They
no
had
one's
a
saying they
play-
were bad, Mo.
Can I just finish? Charlie, just hear me out. If you're saying Liverpool were extraordinary, that means even if Arsenal and City were better than what they were last season, Liverpool still won the league. Is that correct?
Potentially, but we're never going to know.
Most
Mo.
likely. Okay, if a team is extraordinary, guys, and you guys are Ram literally presented one loss, guys, in 30 games. One loss.
Okay, Mo,
One
how about
loss.
this? Let's look at the points. No,
No, you can't.
No, we're not doing points. We're not doing points. No, we're not doing
Okay,
points.
okay,
We're not
okay.
doing points.
Let's
Hashtag,
hear him out.
we're
Let's
not
hear him
doing
out.
points.
Hear me out.
I do the
Let's hear him
points,
out.
you will
Let's hear him
lose.
out.
No, we're not
You will
airing
lose.
him out.
I
Again,
beg you.
if I
I
do-
beg you. I'll be 2
Go ahead.
seconds.
Go ahead.
In Klopp's last season, they had 82 points. Last season, they won the league with 84 points. Who dropped off?
I'm gonna tell you.
The
If
drop
you do
off.
hold on, Ram, hold on. If you do the points, you will lose, huh? Because you know that after game
I'm
week,
telling you,
I'm gonna
it
explain.
makes sense.
But I'm gonna tell you.
Arsenal last season, Arsenal the season prior had
I'm gonna destroy the
89
argument,
points.
Igal. I'm
The
gonna
season
destroy the
after
argument.
that, we had 74.
Igal, I'm gonna argue. I'm gonna destroy the argument.
Liverpool only had a 2-point increase in their
Igal,
points tally,
Igal,
and they
stop.
won the league.
Stop. You know from March that Liverpool won the league. That's why if you do the points, I'm going to tell you, Chelsea only finished 5 points behind you and Man City only finished 3. That does not reflect the difference between the
To be
teams.
fair, Liverpool could have got more points if there was more pressure on them to actually
Thank you
get
so much,
results.
Charlie.
If we
The
went into
logic-
buy.
Charlie, the logic dictates that Arsenal Liverpool, if there was a title race, they would have got 90 something points because both were on course to get, Arsenal were on course to get like 88 points and Liverpool were on course. But Liverpool, they went to Ibiza and they stopped playing after game week 30 and Arsenal stopped playing. We have to admit that.
Okay.
We have to admit
I
that
understand
the
that.
last probably, guys, the last 20 points of the league, Liverpool could have won 21 points. Liverpool could have won 18 out of them
I get that.
or
I get that.
15.
But it still doesn't negate the fact that they were capable of getting 82 points last season with Klopp's team. And this season, the threshold of winning the league was lower because they didn't have as much of a title race. So they were able to win the league with only 2 points more.
No. They were able to win the league because they didn't play the last 6-7 games. They didn't even play.
Yeah, because
Win.
they didn't have competition. It's not about them. It's about the fact that they didn't have the same level of
I
competition.
want you to measure Liverpool on the first 30 games, 31 games, the first 30 games of Liverpool, right? Do you think that Liverpool, even if Arsenal and City were good, would they have won the league or Liverpool would have still won
No,
the league?
because the second half of the season, Trent wasn't as involved and they looked worse. Second half of the season, Gravenberch looked worse. The team's build-up play looked worse. The second half of the season, they're starting
So
to get
why didn't you
exposed
catch up with them then?
because they were already too far ahead.
They were only 7
Oh,
points ahead
why
of
is
you.
that?
They
No,
were
they
only
were
7
too
points.
far ahead
Why is
because
that?
Only
we
7
were
points.
also going to
Only
drop
7
points.
points.
They
Only
we were also
only
going to drop
7.
points because of our
Okay.
injuries. City and Arsenal had debilitating injuries. It didn't matter what happened. They gained enough of a lead where they were never going to lose enough games for us to catch up to them.
Well, this discussion about we actually went to last season. Regardless of Liverpool win the league before, it was 75-90% of players who are champions of Europe, EPL, Premier League, and Champions League. The proven winners already, big difference. But some of them were not proven winners. McAllister had not won the league. Gravenberch has not won the league. Sabozda has not won the league. Nunes has not won the league. I don't think Jota won the league. I don't think Diaz won the league.
McAllister's won the World Cup.
Enzo Fernandez won the World Cup.
Gravenberch won the Bundesliga.
Romero won the World Cup.
And Eredivisie.
Lautaro Martinez won the World Cup. Like,
Yeah, but
what are we doing here?
The point is that like that Liverpool team wasn't
Lautaro Martinez is your best player, bro. What are you doing? What are we doing here? Don't do
Won
that.
the World Cup.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
What I
Is
mean?
he not Inter's best player?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, just before we go on to the next one,
I need
I've got
these ones, please. Wallahi, I need to finish them. Wallahi. Conte signed Alonso, Luis, and the best midfielder in the league, Kante, versus slot-injured Chiesa, plus Conte won a weaker league post-Leicester win. Fair enough.
people forget
I'm
that.
pretty sure Conte's team finished on more points.
Got
than
92
Liverpool.
points. 92 points.
Yeah, exactly.
90,
We've got over 90 points.
93 points. 93 points.
So what are we talking about? Have some respect. Tottenham finished 86.
But also,
Tottenham has more
I'm gonna
points.
tell you something, Igal. I'm gonna tell you something completely different. There are levels between Arne Slot and Antonio Conte when it comes to leagues. Levels. Antonio Conte is the one that turns, like, he fixes everything. Antonio Conte. So there is Arne Slot.
Long time.
Bro, like Antonio Conte is better coach than Arne Slot.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think anyone's denying that.
No one denying that.
That's
I'm
crap.
just saying,
Use logic.
just
I am
between
using. I
Chelsea
never
and
use non-logic. If you will hear me when I talk about, I never use something that is illogical. Maybe you disagree with my logic. That is fine, but I don't. I think we're not saying it the right way. One of the main reasons Liverpool won the league because there is a player that had a historic season, the best ever in the history of the Premier
But it
League.
wasn't the only reason they won the league.
But there was the main reason.
that was one of the main.
Yeah, one of the main
reasons.
Guys, the main reason.
Yeah, of course.
The main reason, to be honest. When someone has 47 GA Charlie on in the league,
of
you
course.
definitely win the league. Then
Another
It's
reason
not
is
just
they also
him,
weren't
is
pushed.
it?
They also weren't pushed the way that City were the last couple of years.
Can I just say?
That's also fair as well. Yeah.
Can I just say, Mo, on the guy's point about points total, at game week 35, when we won the league, we were on 82 points. The season before that, we were on 74.
It doesn't matter. We were on a points total of the same level as the Centurions.
this actually proves my point. Emmanuel here, Emmanuel here proves my point. And that is why I'm saying that Salah, you see these 14 draws, Arsenal didn't have Salah to win them the majority of these 14 draws. That's the difference. And also, Liverpool also won games at the end of the season when they weren't playing. Remember the games that Liverpool won and lost at the end of the season when they were playing?
No, we didn't. After we won the title, we didn't win a game after that.
You didn't. I know that.
Liverpool had the same level of defeats as they did the year prior on Klopp's last season.
Oh my God! Can we? Are you just?
Charlie, you're getting away with murder with this discussion.
You guys want to run this thing where it's like they were so much
Charlie, you're getting away with murder with Chelsea. You're getting away with murder.
Are you just not going to listen to us?
I choose not to. Really call it.
Choose not to listen to you. I choose not to listen to you.
I'm not gonna.
I love you. I love you, God.
Anyways, Chelsea. What are we saying?
What are we saying? What? Listen, this guy Charlie is saying that the media darling. Well, I sit with. Wallah, this is the truth. I sit with every Chelsea fan. Yeah, we might challenge, we might not.
There's no YouTube darlings. It's the YouTube darling.
You hear the way Chelsea were talking after they won the Club World Cup, you think that they fucking need to be in a title race.
But Charlie,
they want to be 38.
Charlie, from my perspective, Chelsea are a good team. You won the Club World Cup. You beat Liverpool. You have the best left back, best midfielder, best young player and best attacking midfielder in Cole Palmer. But the pressure, you guys don't apply it on yourself. I do agree with Mo. You guys play the plucky underdog, even though you spent $2 billion, and it really frustrates people because they don't spend this kind of money you guys do. And even if they did spend anything to that level, they would get much more criticism. The only person who seems to criticize you guys is Jamie Carragher.
No, but I think some of the things that he said are fair, and we've shown that we can beat any team in a one-off game. We've proven that. We can beat the best teams in the world in a one-off game. The problem that we've got is a lack of consistency over a 38-game season, and that's not just since this ownership come in. That's since we last won the title under Antonio Conte back in 2017. We haven't finished above third in the league since we won the title last. So this is not a new problem. This has been a problem for almost coming on 10 years now, that we've not been able to be consistent over a 38-game season. And that is a massive problem. Yes, the trophies we've picked up along the way soften that blow, but ultimately, like, what Chelsea fans want more than anything is to be winning league titles and challenging back at the top end of the table. You won't find a single Chelsea fan, certainly ones that I speak to, that doesn't think that we should be challenging for the title this season. That has to be the expectation. The problem is that there needs to be a pressure applied to the sporting directors and the ownership for going for another transfer window. We've just won the Club World Cup, and we've had a good season last season, a couple of trophies back in the Champions League. That's a success. That was a successful season based on the circumstances at the point in time, right? That should have been an opportunity then to push on. back the manager in the transfer market. And when I mean back the manager, I don't mean financially back the manager. What I mean is back the manager and sign positions that need to be signed. Donnarumma, Osimhen, and Mark Gurhey, for example, were 3 players that were all available. And they are 3 players that I think we can all agree, if Chelsea had signed those 3 players, we'd be in the title race conversation, and people would be taking us seriously, and people would be worried about us to a certain extent. The reason why we're not in a title race is because we didn't sign a top-class goalkeeper, and we don't have top-class centre-backs. No team is winning a title with Robert Sanchez in goal and the centre-backs that we've got right now. So Maresca did a brilliant job last season, but he's now been let down by the club because he's not been given the tools that he needs to go and win a title. When you look at what Arsenal did in the transfer window, when you look at what Liverpool did in the transfer window, you look at what Chelsea have done in the transfer window, instead of the gap getting smaller, the gap is only getting bigger. We finished
a Chelsea fan admitting that the gap is getting big.
It's getting bigger.
It's refreshing, guys. It's refreshing. It's very refreshing. I love you,
thing, mate. We have to be honest. We have to be honest about these things. You know, that is the reality of the situation.
You have to be honest. You are honest.
Maresca has done a very good job, right? And me saying he's not been backed is not talking about money spent. It's about filling the positions that needed filling.
What do you think about Chelsea fans who go for Maresca's head after the Man United game?
Look, again, I think it's ridiculous. By the way, I criticize. By the way, people don't seem to realize. People don't seem to realize, right, that you can support a manager but then criticize them.
But can I ask a question? Do you think you will win the league under? Okay, in your opinion, what is Chelsea's target is to win the league or the Champions League, right? Don't give me the cups thing and whatever thing.
What, is in this season or just
no? As a football,
of course, it's to win the biggest trophies.
Do you think Maresca is a title-winning material manager, in your opinion, or do you think? Because do you think if Chelsea get a better manager today, as Zidane or whatever, I don't know who's on the fucking market. It's not my job to scout. Do you think Chelsea are in a better place than Enzo Maresca?
No, because if you give someone else the same squad mode, the same deficiencies are still there. So, like another manager with the same squad is not gonna make us.
If you get Conte tomorrow, you think you win the league?
No.
Do you think it will be better challenging for the league? Do you give you a better chance?
Potentially, he could do, but I think. But
so
I think
why back Maresca then?
But what I'm saying is, Mo, is that if you give Maresca the tools, i.e., give him a top goalkeeper and give him a top centre back, then he's proven that he can win. Okay, so I do believe that if he's given the tools,
he can win what? I'm sorry.
That he could be a Premier League winning manager.
He can win what? I'm sorry. He can win what?
He could win a league title if he's given the tools. I believe.
What is your evidence based on this? What is your evidence?
Evidence based on the fact that he's by the way, he's been a manager for 2 seasons, right? He's had 2 seasons as a football manager, one with Leicester and Chelsea last season. This is a guy.
What about Palmer in Italy?
He's there for about 9 games, and that was a.
Can I tell you a conversation that we had after the show? Yesterday. If Chelsea don't change the way you recruit players, I don't care about Maresca. If Maresca is a good manager, is he a title-winning manager? I don't know.
But this is the problem.
Why would the likes of Palmer and Caicedo stay? If Chelsea had a chance to sign a top goalkeeper, if Chelsea had a chance to sign a centre back and they refused, by the way, they were offered centre backs, they were offered the goalkeeper, right? And instead of signing a winger, you signed Gittins and Garnacho. You were offered Xavi Simons, who was waiting for you all summer to join your club, and you signed instead of that, you signed Bonanotti. Yeah. Why would Palmer and Caicedo stay at the club? They are top players.
It was Garnacho.
And Xavi Simons waited for Chelsea. He kept glazing Chelsea. Xavi Simons all summer.
I agree with you, Mo. And this is the thing. I don't disagree with any of that at all. That is factually true, and that is part of the reason why Chelsea fans get so frustrated, is because there are opportunities there, and yet we refuse to do it. We could have signed Mike Mignan in the summer. There was the opportunity was there to do it, and we refused to pay the money. It would have cost you less than 20 million or 20 mil tops to upgrade in a really, really important position. We chose not to do it. Maresca publicly asked for a centre-back on more than one occasion. We didn't give him a centre-back. And so I look at it and I think you could talk about if a top draw manager comes in. the reality is, Mo, until the recruitment changes, it doesn't matter who the manager is, because you're going to keep having the same conversation.
So you agree with me that for the foreseeable, based on the current circumstances, for the foreseeable future, you don't see Chelsea winning a league title?
Not until we sign a top goalkeeper and top centre-backs.
So basically, until the recruitment change, you don't see Chelsea winning a league title for the foreseeable future?
No, until we plug the gaps in the squad, no, because every window that goes by, it's the same.
Do you know how crazy that is? Yeah,
I know it is, but every window that goes by, Mo, it's almost like by design. Chelsea have made some good signings, but they're still 3 or 4 players short. And it's the same 3 or 4 players short after every single transfer window. And at some point, you know, more pressure needs to be applied on those above. That's why I have a certain, you know, amount of leeway with the manager, because at the end of the day, if you're not, there's only so much you can do with the tools that you've been given. And I actually think, and I'm sure we can all agree here, banter aside, that Maresca's actually done a pretty good job to date, given the fact that he's a manager with next to no experience when he
for his standards, absolutely yes.
He's doing a very good job.
For his standards, absolutely,
he is. And so, look,
for Chelsea, if you finish 5th, 4th last season, if any big club finish 4th and spend the money you spent last summer, I'm expecting them to take us a leap forward, a step more towards the title contention.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. By the way, I'm not saying that we can't do that this season. You know, I'm not saying we can't do that. All I'm saying is that on the evidence so far, and a lot can change, by the way, we're only 7 games in, but on the evidence so far, it's looking difficult. I'm not saying that things can't change quickly and we can't do that, or we're not capable of doing it. But the problem we've got is, Mo, is that with the way that we recruit, is that we're constantly, you know, bedding in 3, 4, 5 players every summer. And there's too much rotation of players in the squad. And so it's very difficult to build something when, you know, for example, you spend 2.5 years developing Madueke to a certain level, and then you then move him on, which is fine. By the way, I've got no problem with moving players on if you bring in a better player to replace them. I've got no issue with players leaving if someone better comes in. The problem we've got is, Mo, is that, as I said, you spend 2.5 years developing Madueke, you sell him, which is fine. But then your answer is to sign Jamie Gittins, who is basically what Madueke was when he was at PSV, and then you start the cycle, and then you
exactly that.
That is the perfect analogy.
And then you start the cycle over again. And this is my point: is that
you sold Madueke. Actually, Dan said yesterday you sold Madueke for an Arsenal team that is looking to win the title. So you developed Madueke somehow, and then you sold him for profit for an Arsenal team that is taking Madueke to be a backup player for a title-winning team in their eyes. And then you go. So you basically, from what I'm hearing, you became a feeder club.
Well, I'm not saying
RB Leipzig.
I mean, look, Chelsea. Look, the model is obviously always, you know, is there seems to be a high turnover of players, right? But the issue I've got is that we're just developing players, selling them, and then buying more players to develop. But
isn't that a worry though? Because that's what RB Leipzig do. That's what
Igalo was slated earlier this season. I watched some shows, bro.
But it's
closer to Arsenal. Our players are better. We might actually finish above you. You're the first time I hear this, Charlie. To be honest, you told me that before. You told me something similar. The problem
you know what happens though?
The consensus, Charlie, from Chelsea fans is not that. Charlie, you're being completely. To be honest with you, you're completely logical and honest about how you see the project going, right?
But you know what the problem is?
That's not what people were saying.
Do you know what the problem is, Mo? Right? People have got this thing right where the standards at Chelsea, right? The standards at Chelsea haven't changed, and so when I or others say that, you know, oh, you know, we're not ready to do that, or we're not good enough to do that, people look at that as a lowering of standards. It's not a lowering of standards. There's 2 different things here, right? The standards are always to challenge and to try and win the biggest trophies, right? But then people fail to distinguish between the standards and the team not being at the level to hit the standards. So there's 2 different things. Me saying that this team isn't good enough to challenge for the league or good enough to win a title is not me lowering my standards or accepting mediocrity. That's me accepting and being at a stage of realization that right now this team isn't good enough to do that. That's not a lowering of the standards, and people don't seem to be able to differentiate between the two.
I hear exactly what you're saying. That's exactly what is going on now.
But when you say that, right, do these standards or this philosophy that you guys are saying about bringing young players, like Mo said, at some point, some of these players are going to be like, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to be staying wherever.
Palmer wants to play with Isak. Palmer wants to play with Mbappe. Palmer, I'm not saying you signed it. I'm saying similar. Palmer wants to play with the ready-made. Palmer doesn't want to look up, and with all due respect, and see Delap as a forward, or Gittins as his winger, or Neto even as his winger. Palmer wants to look up and see
in all due respect, Chelsea have quality players.
There are quality players, yeah.
He doesn't look around and say we need better right now. He just necessarily says, you know what, we need to start looking at potentially trying to get win now players. That's what.
But this is the thing, though, right? I think players can look at it and they'll look at it and think, all right, are the club moving forward? Chelsea have shown that, you know, we can put together a run of 7 or 8 games to win a competition, right? We've basically been a cup side since we last won the league. We've shown that we can win cups. We've shown that we can put runs together when it matters across a small period of games in a cup competition. The problem now is applying that consistency over a small amount of games in a cup is to applying that in the Premier League. And that's where we're coming unstuck. You know, we could be sitting here, and I know it's ifs and buts, right? We're 5 points off the top after 7 games. If we hadn't conceded a long throw in last minute against Brentford, that's 2 more points. And if we'd beaten a Man United or a Brighton, which we should have done, that's 3 more points. And we're joint top of the table after 7 games. And the narrative and conversation is
we can use the argument against.
We can do that for a lot of teams. We can do that for a lot of teams.
If I did that, I would have 2 league titles, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree. But
I'd have about 5.
I think what I'm trying to say about my point with that is that Chelsea aren't a million miles away, but the fact that we've made those mistakes and shot ourselves in the foot there makes us look a lot worse than we are. I don't think we're as bad as people make out.
1 point in the table is so much now.
I agree.
It's literally life and death. It's this football has gone from 10 games. Let's wait 10 games to analyze everything. To first 3 games, Liverpool look shit, City look shit, Arsenal look shit.
So much reactionary.
It is reactionary.
It's reactionary analysis.
100%.
If we're being honest, right, we all sit here and we know you can only talk about what you've seen, right? But anyone making any conclusive judgments from 7 games is massively wide of the mark. I think we've got to wait another 7 games, 8 games. So you start getting to 12, 15 games before you can have any conversation about what the table is starting to look like and what you can say about certain teams.
I agree with this. This is 100%. However, you can see the signs. If I'm seeing Chelsea's options on the sign, like Gittins and Garnacho, I'm worried. I'm worried.
I agree.
Looking back, the lap was a mistake, or
he's injured. I can't say that. I like the lap.
He's played 2 games. He's now injured.
Because you could have got another striker that maybe
that could have gotten injured as well. He just could have gotten injured as well.
The only transfer that I say is a mistake is Garnacho. I don't know why you got him. I really
and Gittins.
No, Gittins, because left winger wise, the only option was ideally Neto, which they want to put on the right, and
Semenyo.
I mean,
but Gittins and Semenyo would have been
what would have been better would have been getting one of Garnacho or Gittins and signing Xavi Simons.
Actually, yes.
Yes.
But there's another option. Sign Semenyo for 70 million and the rest of the 90 million, the 30 million, sign a lesser winger to be the backup.
Yeah, but I agree. I agree. Like that,
isn't that more logical? Isn't that more logical? Gittins is 55 million rand.
Well, it's 48 million plus whatever.
You also could have used that money to get Mike Mignon.
Yeah, bro, I agree. I said this at the time. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous that you spend 50+ million pounds on Jamie Gittins, but you weren't prepared to spend 20 million on Mignon, which would.
By the way, the only reason why I brought up Delap is because I don't think Delap is of the caliber to go and take you to a league title. I don't know.
Not right now. He's not. No, and that's fair.
He's
not.
He's all potential, isn't it?
He could be, but again, what you'd look at, and I think it's similar to Man United, right? When Haaland had to come in and be the main man, it should have been Harry Kane at Man United, for example, with Haaland as the backup. I think with Chelsea, if you'd signed Victor Osimhen when we had the chance to, and you had Delap backing him up, that's suddenly a decent signing. But because Delap's got to be the main guy really at number 9, that's when people are now sort of maybe slightly questioning it, not because of the quality of the player, but because of the role he's being asked to play.
Listen, look into this. We are focused on the Champions League, not your league and phases. So Blazer, you're winning the Champions League then. What does that even mean?
That's such a
He's
stupid...
basically saying he thinks he has a chance to win.
If your club is doing that, that's a stupid way of looking at.
We've got a chance of winning the Champions League. I'm not saying we're going to win the Champions League, but we've proven in cup competitions that we're more than capable of putting a run together. So it's not impossible, but we should not be sacrificing the league or anything like that.
Exactly.
This recruitment narrative is cute, but start of the season, I heard from Chelsea fans that they're finishing above City and Arsenal, and their squad is better.
That wasn't me.
I did, because they won the Club World Cup, and then they beat like AC Milan and like some other people in the preseason. And I was hearing this team's ready to win league titles.
Nah, I heard
that weren't me.
I know there's people joking like Tobes on TikTok, but like Ches and Don were definitely serious when they said they believed the team were on the same level.
No, challenge. No, they said they were the same level as you, but they didn't think you were good enough to challenge for the league, which is a bit wild. But the whole narrative was we're world champions, we could do whatever. Like that was the narrative. You're flexing that world champions badge for such a long time.
Mate, it's 4 years you got the world champs badge.
No, and look, you beat PSG fair and square, but look, that doesn't mean that you can shy away from expectations.
Oh, no, of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. No, of course it doesn't.
100%. But listen, I want to thank everyone that joined us. The Ram stand in the description. Charlie actually just dropped a video. I think
with Wolfie,
yes, see, I'm subscribed and I have the
with Wolfie and his fraudulent self,
yes, with Wolfie.
He's Anjin now,
Igal, what do you got coming up?
Well, yes, only if the alternative is Deitch.
Yes. Igal, what do you got coming up?
Honestly, I got Vibes from the 6 coming up tomorrow, and that's the panel show. And
what time? Really. Tell people what time.
I'm probably going to do it around 8 o'clock tomorrow.
8 o'clock p.m. time, Igal TV. It's in the description, guys. Vibes from the 6 with Ahmed. I think that show sometimes gets so diluted with Ahmed and you. It's actually unfucking believable.
Add Hamza to it as well.
When Ahmed's on my show, I feel like
Ahmed is so like sometimes.
I feel like when Ahmed's on my show,
the wildest shit.
I love Ahmed, man.
I feel like Ahmed gets balanced out with Rak and Vader, and then you have Jay, who's kind of like a little bit Spurs. So it's a good balance of people who actually challenge you.
God, did you say Vader?
Sometimes what happens is you got people who sit
Vader
back.
balance is kind of criminal, but fun.
Yeah,
but Vader balance things out with him and Rak, because I feel like you can have everyone crazy.
But listen, people, before we go, OK Jersey here, the sponsor, scan the QR code, check it out. About $17 or £15 or £14. They actually ship anywhere in the world, so go and try to actually scan the QR code right there. And this will take you to Hussam, where he has Ashraf. That would be a brilliant show, an amazing show. So go and actually check Hussam out. It's absolutely brilliant. I will see you guys tonight at 9:30 p.m. with Romario and actually Javon and a great panel with you. I will see you guys soon. Thank you for everyone supporting the channel. Hit that like button before you go. We're out of here, people.
Peace.